Hey, Coach. Just kind of curious what you thought was kind of like the main takeaway from just how close everything was in terms of gameplay.
Yeah, I think, the two things. I think there were a number of plays where um, we had what I would probably call breakdowns or mistakes that we eliminate those. We're in a lot better place, whether that's giving up an and one, um, not fouling when we have an opportunity to foul, offensive rebounds, things like that. On the defensive end, where if we made those plays, um, we have a chance to even extend the lead and really control the game. And then I thought um, down the stretch too, I thought their physicality played a role with our execution, and we've been very good in those situations. Tonight was a little different game, and we haven't been in. The Detroit, we haven't been in a lot of possession games like that. But we broke down in some areas that I think, um, you know, aren't you don't need to overanalyze them. And then we also will have a chance to look um, at what we did from an execution standpoint late, just recognizing certain things that are going on the floor, whether they're cross matching someone or they change a matchup, or um, so some of the things that we're used to doing weren't necessarily the, potentially the highest percentage things tonight, and we'll learn from that.
I'm gonna say there are a couple of moments maybe in the second and third quarters just where things kind of got a little frenetic. How much of that is just these guys kind of needing experience versus just not being in those situations, as you mentioned?
Little bit of both. I mean, I think some of them we know how to do and we can do. Um, little things like just stand down in a shot fake or getting a hit on the boards. When you do some of those things, things get easier on the other end. And I thought there was a stretch where we really got some good looks and we didn't convert, and then it makes those possessions even more important.
Coach, you talk about being down Jock Landale for this game. Just how tough was it with them being plus 18 in the point in the paint, not having him and not having that size against Mitchell Robinson and Carl Anthony Towns?
Yeah, I you don't want to pin it on something, but obviously Jock has been an important part of our team. The minutes that he's been able to give us and his physicality in the matchup. So I put Tony in a really difficult position tonight um, in the first quarter, and really did the same thing with Mo, having him guard Mitchell Robinson. That's not the way that we've used him. Um, had him in a different type of versatility role because that's been Jock or O in that situation. So those are just things we need to adjust to and figure out how to be better and really get more comfortable with the lineups that are in the game.
Coach, in your first answer there, you said you didn't foul when you had an opportunity to. Is that in relation to Mitchell Robinson, who is a poor free throw shooter?
Yeah, there was a couple times where we gave up and ones, where I think there's opportunities there to not give up an offensive rebound and a basket. We don't want to give up a 3-point play.
Coach, do you feel like a game like this prepares you for the postseason better than maybe other regular season games do, just because of how everything
Well,
played out?
certainly some of the situations that came up during the course of the game are things that hopefully we'll get a chance to see. I think this is our postseason right now, in my mind. So there's not like a long, there's not a longer runway right now with only 3 games to play, and every possession is important. So hopefully, we can. I think we know that. But being on the court and in the throes of the battle, in those competitive moments, we just have to be more focused on those things, and I think we will and can.
Coach, you talked before the game about how tough the Knicks are with the pick and roll. They hurt you tonight, especially with the roll, man. Do you think you could have been better in those areas?
I think the first half, and a couple after timeout plays, they took advantage of a coverage. We adjusted to that, and it really didn't hurt us. Um, the remainder of the game, I thought Towns had a couple moments where we went for shot fakes, and there were certain things that happened where we just didn't do as good a job guarding, you know, individually. And then there were also possessions where we did a good job, and they either missed, and some of them you do a good job, and those are really good offensive players, and they make them even if you have close to a perfect possession. So a little bit of everything. I felt like we did, a good job. I'll have to look at all the pick and roll possessions, but it never felt like we were, they were rolling us over in pick and roll. We had some matchup issues with it, and we addressed those at a couple times, putting Mo in the game and trying to give O a breather, and so there was some of that going on, but I don't think there was one aspect of the game for us defensively that was like an Achilles heel or anything like that.
Quinn, only 7 minutes for Zach tonight, which I believe is a career low for
Yeah.
research. Was there something you wanted to see from him that you didn't get tonight, or was it just kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at what I've been talking about with this being the playoffs, I think, Zach's done all the things that I've talked about that we've asked, and um, there's gonna be, Corey didn't play. Corey played great last game. We only have so many guys that we can actually put in the game. And in certain situations, we're playing, Nikhil and Dyson and those guys, more minutes. So people just get squeezed. JK played a little more. So those minutes come from somewhere. So it's not anything about one player. That's just the game, whether it's matchups or, the flow of the game or wanting to get someone back in the game as opposed to having someone come out. So I think we're past the point where we're looking at individual players and kind of trying to dissect whether they should be playing more or less. I mean, the guys that are out there, the majority of the time, the Dysons and the Keels and the JJs, I look at the minutes, but that's what happens, and there's just less minutes, and Zach gets caught in that. But we need him to keep doing the things that he's been doing. He had a great, he's been crashing the glass. Those are big plays for us. So there's a lot of those opportunities and things, and every game's different. Is really the biggest thing.
Quinn, we've always known Jalen to make the right decision, the right pass or whatnot. But when he has a smaller guy on the block and he's posting him up, there have been times where it seems like he's been a little indecisive, or it's almost like he waits too long for the double team to come up. Would you like to see him be more aggressive in those moments when he has a little guy on him on the block?
Yeah, I think he, frankly, is, a lot of times when he has a smaller guy on him, they're up into him and they're just really being physical with him. And those are situations, again, Jalen's really from the beginning of the year continued to improve with those situations. And that'll be something that'll continue to happen. So I'm confident in him making the right read, whether the double actually comes or it's a late double team. But I like what he's done for us as far as, being able to score in those situations and also, as you said, making the right decision. Okay.